Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. This is Kay back at it with a new blog. Today I want to talk about my famous K ribs. You're in for a treat tonight. What I want to do is share with you the way I make them, and maybe you can make yours the same way. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I do is I clean the ribs really good, clean them good, and then I take off as much as that skin on the other side of the ribs. This way it makes it even more tender. Now, folks, I'm not a chef. I'm not some guy that can cook really healthy foods, but I generally can cook the things that I enjoy eating, and ribs are one of them. Now, the way I'm gonna do this is it's gonna be cooked in three stages. One, I'm gonna season the ribs with some seasoning salt. Seasoning salt. I know you're probably saying, "Oh, you're putting too much seasoning on it, Kate." Well, you don't eat like this all the time. It's like when you go to a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, yeah, they can make some really healthy food, but who's gonna buy it? So what they tend to do is cook food that people will enjoy eating, and that's what I'm doing tonight. So then I put a little seasoning salt. Just a little seasoning salt and a little pepper, right? Then I'll take some brown sugar. So then I take the brown sugar and I put it all over my ribs. Just like that. Put them all over it, smooth it in good. Like that, smooth it in. And what's going to happen is this brown sugar is going to add to the flavor. It's going to give it that sweet taste. I don't know if you ever tried ribs that's got a sweet taste to it. It is just amazing, because brown sugar, what it does is it's like it melts into the meat, and it just makes it really good. And so once you do that, right, you put your brown sugar, right? All right. And the next stage is I'm going to take the ribs and I'm going to broil them. I'm sorry, I'm going to bake them. I'm going to bake them for an hour and 45 minutes. You got to excuse my stove. I'm due for another one eventually, but now I just keep this one clean, and I just do the best I can with it. Yeah, it's a good stove. It's just that I broke the handle off of it. I was leaning on it, and I broke the handle off, and so now I'm without a handle. So what I'm gonna do now, if I can just get this lid on there, right? Open it up and put my ribs in the oven. Now, I generally cook it on a low temperature of 350, and then I set my timer for about an hour and 45 minutes. Now, in the baking pan, I put some water, of course, so it can bake, but I don't soak them in there. I just have enough water, and I should have showed you that, whereas that it's not overwhelming the ribs. I just need some water in there for moisture as the ribs bake. So what I do is I bake them for 45 minutes, an hour and 45 minutes, and then after that, I broil them for another 7 minutes, and then I put my sauce. But you'll see all of that. So right now, while it's doing this thing, I'm going to put this on pause and then come back, and then we'll continue. Okay, this is Kay back at it. Continue cooking his famous baby back honey barbecue ribs. Okay, so I let the ribs cook, rather bake, for an hour and 45 minutes in the oven. Now I took them out of the oven. I mixed up my famous sauce. I used Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce. And then to spice it up, I put a little hot sauce. Once I put my sauce in a bowl and mixed it up good, now I'm going to add my famous sauce. And you can use your own sauce. Whatever sauce you like to use is what you use. Whatever rocks your boat. So then, once I put my sauce on it, I smooth it over good. And don't forget, I put some brown light sugar over it, to give it that sweetness. So it's going to have a touch of sweetness to it. It's going to have a light spice to it. And then you're going to taste the honey barbecue sauce. So it's just going to make for some really good eating. I like to cook. And I think most guys do. Women grew up in the kitchen with the mother. She had to, learn how to cook and do all other things women do. But men never really had to worry about cooking in the kitchen. So as men got on their own and they start fixing food for themselves, thanks to mom giving them pointers too, they found themselves enjoy cooking. And there's a study out there. Most men in relationships do most of the cooking. And the women is on the other side, enjoying the food. And one thing that I notice about relationships, the man will cook and the woman tends to, wash the dishes and do all the things that the man probably did in the day. Now the woman, her part is, if she don't want to cook, she'll just clean up afterwards. And then, so it's even, because I tell you, in my house, my relationship, I love to do all the cooking. It's not a chore. It's something fun. Food itself is fun. I enjoy being in the kitchen opposed to the living room, because you're around food and you're enjoying it. So now I'm going to put my tray in the broiler like that. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to put it in the broiler and I'm going to let it broil for about 7 to 8 minutes. And then we'll come back to it. Okay, so let's take a look at the ribs. Let's see how they're doing in there. Wow, they're cooking up really nice. And one of the things you don't want to do when you're cooking your ribs, you don't want to overcook them, because don't forget, the ribs are already done. I baked them for an hour and 45 minutes. And basically all I'm doing now is doing the finishing touches. I want to give it that restaurant taste to it, where the texture is not soft, but it's got just a little chew to it, but not burnt. And you can see it's getting there. Okay, I think the ribs are ready. Let's take a look. Wow, beautiful. Look at the sauce on it. Look how it's just continuously cooking. These ribs are going to be delicious. They're going to be tender. They're not going to be hard. You're going to taste all the beautiful flavors that I put in it. You know, don't forget I use seasoning salt, pepper. I use some light brown sugar. And then I got some, then I put hot sauce mixed in some honey barbecue sauce, which is just going to be just really delicious. And with these ribs, you know, you can eat them with like fries if you want a, fast food night, or if you want a Saturday meal that you got mashed potatoes or some rice or whatever your combination is. Ribs generally go with everything. So that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed watching me cook my favorite ribs. Again, this is Kay back at it with another video. Press like if you like my video and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.